Chapter 3 also discusses parties to a crime. Traditionally, we divided parties to a crime into two broad categories: principals and accessories. The common law traditionally broke these two categories down into subcategories. Let us first focus on principals. Under traditional criminal law, a principal in the first degree was the person who actually committed the offense. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. They were the principal actor, the one who was committing the offense. There were also principals in the second degree. This was someone who was actually at the scene of the crime, but wasn't necessarily committing the actual offense. So for instance, as you can see in the PowerPoint, an example would be the getaway car driver. So if there was a bank robbery going on, the principal in the first degree was the person who was actually inside the bank, pointing a gun at the teller, demanding the money. A principal in the second degree was someone who was fully participating in the crime, but not actually inside the bank. So the person waiting outside in the getaway car. Under traditional common law, they were both equally responsible for the bank robbery. So whether they were a principal in the first degree or principal in the second degree, they were equally responsible. With accessories, these were people who were not at the scene of the crime. Accessories could be one of two types, either accessories before the fact or accessories after the fact. An accessory before the fact was someone who had helped the principals prepare for the crime. Now this wasn't just someone who maybe had a gun shop and without any idea that that the principals were planning to rob a bank had sold the principals a gun. This person would be considered an accessory before the fact. But this was an accessory before the fact was someone who was more actively involved, knew of the criminal intent of the principals, and was fully intent upon helping the principals to carry out that crime. So they were acting before the crime actually happened. Hence they were accessories before the fact. So it probably isn't hard to understand what accessories after the fact would be. These are individuals who helped the principals after the crime was committed. So maybe they hid the principals from the police. And again, this isn't just someone who had no knowledge that the crime was going on and offered the apartment to someone who they thought was only their friend, but this was someone who knew that the crime had taken place and was fully intent upon helping the principals to get away with the crime. So an accessory after the fact may be someone who destroys the evidence, maybe gets rid of the gun for the principals, gets rid of the getaway car, whatever it might be. They provided some kind of substantial support after the crime was committed. In modern law, we mostly do away with all these specific categories of principals and accessories, and we replace it with just principals in general. We don't ask about principals in the first degree or principals in the second degree. And we replace accessories with accomplices. So we don't, again, worry about whether they were an accessory before the fact or accessory after the fact. So principals are those people who are actually at the scene of the crime, whether they're outside the bank when the bank robbery is going on or inside the bank actually carrying out the robbery. They are the principals. The accomplices are the people who, just like accessories, assist the principals. But again, in today's law, we don't worry about whether we label them as accessories before the fact or after the fact. We just need to show that they somehow assisted the principals even though they weren't at the scene. So again, this could be support before or after the crime. As you can see in the PowerPoint, in order to be an accomplice, we must show evidence that you were acting with the purpose, as an accomplice, to promote, facilitate the commission of the offense by the principals. So this isn't, again, just a casual assistance. You opened the door for them as they were coming back into the apartment building and they were fleeing the police. You wouldn't be considered an accomplice if you just happened to open the door to the building because you were being polite. You have to provide more substantial support and you must act with a specific intent of promoting, facilitating the commission of the offense. So you are actively assisting them. It isn't just an accidental, innocent assistance. You must affirmatively desire, as the PowerPoint says, affirmatively desire to encourage or assist the principal to commit the offense. So this is before the crime takes place. So under traditional law, this would be most likely connected with an accessory before the fact. You affirmatively desire, so that means that you are actively promoting, encouraging this principal to commit the offense. So you are playing a substantial role in motivating them to commit the crime. You could therefore be held as an accomplice to this crime.